I'm Sinclair Philip, and I'm co-owner of Sooke Harbour House. I work here with my wife and several of my children, depending upon the day. And we're lucky enough to live in one of the most beautiful places on the surface of the earth. We're surrounded by beautiful certified organic gardens, an abundance of food, a great deal of edible seaweed on our beach, huge selection of wild seafoods right off our doorstep. We are, in terms of food, a place that receives quite a lot of its food delivered to its door on a daily basis. We buy from certified organic farms and other organic farms. We're in a place, in a part of the world where European civilization has only lived for a brief period of time. So historically, we are sitting on sacred land that belonged to our First Nations people, and this is something that we really respect, and people who've owned Sooke Harbour House throughout the years have always worked with these people. We have been here since 1979. We've tried to feature the regional seasonal foods of our area, organic whenever possible, but that really speak for Canadian food. We are a very good example of what Canadian food could and should be.
Hi, my name's Edward Tuson. I've been here at Sooke Harbour House cooking for basically since the early 90s. We cook seasonally, locally, and semi-indigenously. So, I mean, aside from the products I can't use, I have complete freedom. Working here and living in this place has enabled me to purchase my own small farm. I have a small orchard, I have 8 pigs, and I have a duck and whose name is Larry, and a dog whose name is Sid. They're best friends in the world. I think a large part of why I ended up cooking this was because of my mother. My mother grew up on a farm, German heritage. I mean, she did it all. I'm lucky. I mean, from a chef's standpoint, what more could anybody ask for? I love it here. I have a great job. It's absolutely beautiful. The people I work with are astounding. I mean, it's paradise. Okay, in today's recipes, as you've seen here, there's an abundance of flowers. And one of the flowers we're going to use today with one of the dishes is a rose petal. What I did today was I mixed it with rhubarb. So I cooked down rhubarb and I added the rose petals to it. And then I strained the rose petals out. And then I added little cubes of rhubarb to that and some mint. This is another flower we're going to use. This is a kale flower. Kale, garlic, it's good. It's good. Good color, good flavor. The last flower I'm going to use is Dianthus flower, which is part of the carnation family. And these particular flowers very much taste like clove. We have a good abundance of flowers that we've harvested from all over the gardens, and I think we'll head back to the kitchen and start cooking. Spent some time in the garden. We're picked some of our flowers to garnish our dishes with. And the first dish I'm going to prepare is a tuna dish. And the tuna that we use is Albacore Tuna. Warba potatoes, first potatoes of the year. I'm really lucky I got these early. Because the dish isn't going to take long to cook, we're going to slice them nice and thin. We got a little bit of garlic. We're not gonna crush the garlic because we're gonna fry it with the potatoes. So we're gonna slice it a little bit thicker because we don't want it to burn, hopefully, you know. So we just cut it a little thicker. So we're gonna move over to the stove. I got a wok. This is kind of a scary amount of oil for one dish, but we're gonna add like 2 ounces. So as soon as we get some smoke, we're going to add our potatoes. Just cook the potatoes you know, a minute and a half or so. Because they're thin, they're going to cook fast. The edges are starting to get brown. We just pop them out. And the next step is we're going to add our tuna. It's a little brown on all sides. Okay. We add our bok choy. We add our snow peas. This is a grand fir. Back in the day, the natives would eat the grand fir in the spring because the little needles, which are very tender, they have kind of a citrus, piney taste to them, are really high in vitamin C. We take a grand fir, we add a few of the needles, our potatoes back in, and then we add some stock. I had some shellfish stock. And we just add our asparagus because it's been blanched for like 30 seconds. And we'll add it just to heat it through. When you have fresh ingredients like this, you know, it's pretty easy to make it look good. A little bit of chili oil and fenugreek. Fenugreek is a plant we grow here, and the actual seed we use from it that's been dried tastes like curry. It smells like curry, it tastes like curry. It adds a little bit of orange contrast. The oil itself kind of pools in the dish, floats on the top, gives a nice shine to the veg, and it adds a bit of richness and a bit of complexity. One last thing we're going to add to this dish, just again to highlight a little bit, is these kale flowers. You know, we just add a few, sprinkle around. They look small, but again, you're going to have a bite of the dish, you're going to get a few kale flowers, and you're going to go, wow, those little flowers, they didn't look like much, but they add another, just one more little taste to a dish. We have quite a few flavors going on here, but in the end, they'll create one flavor. They'll create a whole. That's more or less the philosophy here, is getting everything, combining all the ingredients in the garden, having a complex dish with quite a few flavors, but in the end, to make one harmonious flavor in your mouth. So there's basically our finished dish.
The Hippy Gourmet is brought to you by the Hippy Gourmet's quick and simple cookbook for healthy eating, available in stores wherever books are sold.